So Mods Connect Integrity is part of the comprehensive Mods Connect software suite. Is the drive to have these accessible historical records, was that part of the inspiration behind creating a purpose-built tool for digital joint integrity?
It was the the main reason we built the module was, oh goodness, over 10 years ago now. We were actually on a project for the Norwegian sector, and it was getting built in Zwijndrecht in Holland, and we had some problems with handing over systems during some of the leak testing. And one of the client managers asked us to do a bit of a review of some of the handover dossiers that they do during the commissioning procedure. And we looked through the paper records and linked it to a very basic model at the time to understand if we had all the correct paperwork that provided the assurance that that system was ready to hand over and ultimately be, ready for operations when they go offshore. During that process, although we had signed paper dossiers, handover dossiers, we did find paperwork that wasn't supporting the readiness of the system. It was a non-critical system. It was what we started with, what we looked at as a bit of a proof of concept. But it was quite apparent that the paperwork, and there was a lot, you can imagine you're building an asset with thousands, tens of thousands of joints. The paperwork trail is hard to follow. So by linking the paperwork to the credibility of the actual joint, we were color coding the joints based on the actual readiness, based on the check sheet, the joint integrity check sheet. So we went through this exercise together with the client to understand. It was the operations guys that asked us. They wanted full assurance that when they did take hydrocarbons on board, that they had the accountability and the paperwork to support it, but which wasn't the case. So from there, then we saw that this is a problem on one particular project. So how could we develop a digital system to remove some of that arduous task of the paperwork and provide operations with the necessary assurances that these joints were made correctly, i.e. set correctly, the right lubricants, the right torque settings, etc., and then fundamentally ready for hydrocarbons to come on board. So that's how we started mods. That's why that particular module was added to our ecosystem of software.